2008 Nissan Versa, how to remove the steering wheel. These tabs are already taken off. That's where you had to push through to get the airbag unit off with the horn. You gotta push the screwdriver in here. You feel a spring engage. It slips off pretty easily, and then it pops off one side. Repeat the same thing on the other side. Pops off the other side. There's a third spring right in here on the bottom that you have to disconnect. And the only way to get to that is to get through here to it. Right in through there, but on the other side. So this is where I have to pry to get to that other spring so I can pop it off. Let me see if I can hold the camera and show you. Alright, this is the angle where I'm gonna get it. When you pull on this piece, you can kind of see the spring, and I have to pop that spring down, and then the whole thing comes off. Now you can pull this off. There's a ground wire here. There's a tab here. Needs a little persuasion. Like that. Sorry about the fingers in the way. And now you gotta get these airbag connectors off. So the way you do that, it's harder to do holding the camera, obviously, but you gotta help this black tab up from both sides. Boom. Now the other side. There you go. So essentially what you're trying to do is to get this black tab pushed up clicks in. It basically pushes up and the whole thing kind of lifts up. I got another shorter video on this specific, but you can see as you work it, it comes up a little higher than that. But that takes this off. I had to remove the steering wheel. You gotta get this nut off. So this is if you were doing your clock spring, for example, after doing a front end and forgetting to secure your steering wheel. Take that nut off, then you take this cover off and this cover off, as well as this bezel. And for that there's some screws down here to get to. But for my purposes, what I'm doing is, since I just replaced the clock spring, the new one came with an alignment. Basically, it was aligned with a little plastic tab. And my previous one, when I took the steering wheel off, was not aligned, so my wheels are straight and my steering wheel's crooked. So we do it nice because we do it twice. So we're going to take this off. I'm going to set this up and see if I can show you how to take the steering wheel off. It's a 19mm socket. And you have to brace it. You take it off most of the way. You leave the nut on partially, so that when you pull the steering wheel, it doesn't pop you in the face, so the nut can kind of help you. There we go. I just used my knee to help. You can use two hands and your knee, whatever you want to do. So that came off. Now I just need to make sure I got my steering wheel lined up right. So, taking this. Now the clock spring is back there too. So if I take the whole steering wheel off, you'll see that clock spring position. So I'm going to reposition the clock spring to basically 12 o'clock. Got to thread these wires back through here for the airbag. These guys just pretty much pop right back on here. There's a little channel guide. They run through and then push it down, push the black tab down with it. Just make sure it's snug. Same thing with the yellow. And then we connect this ground connector here. Done. Okay. Airbag's back on. Gonna get this guy back on. Alright, now to get this back on, you just give it a good, and it's done. Now you heard my horn go off. I didn't disconnect the battery terminal. You should definitely do that. I already went through this whole process today with the clock spring, so I got a little lazy. But let's make sure everything works. Settings work. Change my radio source. I can change my radio channel and the volume up and down, so I know that everything in this works. Airbag light is still on. I I think I need to reset the computer to fix that. That's it. That's how you take off and reinstall the steering wheel. These are kind of the beginning steps to replacing your clock spring and whatever else. If you need to change out your turn signal or your headlight or your windshield wiper switches, those are also connected to the assembly where the clock spring is. Alright, thanks for watching the video and have a good day.